So Simon, thank you for joining me here today, and just appreciate the partnership that you've built with Microsoft. If you could just introduce yourself really quickly, and I'd love to start, if you don't mind, with the question about the partnership that we've had. We've been working together for many years, and so I'd love to just hear you speak a bit about the work that we've done recently to build on that partnership.
Yeah, thanks, Casey. It's great to be here today. So my name is Simon Longbottom, and I'm Vice President of Product Marketing and Go-to-Market for Document Cloud for Business. So I've worked very closely with Microsoft over the years. And you're right, it is a great partnership. And I think what makes it great is that our products are really complementary to one another. There were more than 250 billion PDFs opened in Adobe Acrobat last year. And I think something like 40% of all attachments in Microsoft Outlook are PDFs. So it's really natural for us to work together. So it's great to be here. It's great to chat.
Thank you for that, Simon. So both companies, Microsoft and Adobe, talk a lot about digital transformation. And over the last year and a half, we've been talking more about hybrid work. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how those two concepts translate into the work that we do together as partners and the value we deliver to customers.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredibly important. I mean, particularly in the remote work environment we've been in for the last year and a half, but also as we come back into the office in this hybrid work environment. I think a lot of it is about this digital transformation is about moving processes that used to be really manual and paper-based into, fully digital or, automated processes. Example would be health infrastructure in New South Wales. A health institution really hit, hard by COVID, was able to take a lot of their processes into digital through Adobe Sign, Acrobat, and Microsoft Teams. They could drop contracts that they might have printed that were 300 pages before. They could drop those into Microsoft Teams, have those reviewed, go back and forth on comments really seamlessly and easily, saving lots of time and lots of paper. At the same time, with Adobe Sign, they could get things signed so quickly that they could, something that might have taken 3 weeks to get a signature from a customer before was now taking just a couple of days. So I think that's just one example of how the work we do together across the suite of Microsoft apps and with Adobe Acrobat and Sign is really helping companies with this digital transformation.
Yeah, you guys were one of the first ISVs to build to the Teams platform. And so I'd love to hear you just talk a bit more about how that's translated into value for customers, especially with Adobe Cloud and the integration with the Power Platform. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think one of the things we're seeing customers do is streamline workflows and just get things accomplished more quickly. I mean, we have customers that are able to drop contracts into Teams to go through quick review cycles and get a signature. When it comes to the Power Platform, I think we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing customers being able to use this sort of no-code, low-code kind of environment to be able to streamline processes that previously would have taken a long time. So I'd have said there's an example where a company has an information request system where previously, if somebody needed access to documents, they'd have to go through this request process, which would be heavily in email. It would be really manual, take a lot of time. And now, through the combination of Power Automate and Adobe Sign and Acrobat, you're able to accomplish that much more quickly because things are automated. They're getting routed to the right people. They can just approve things with a touch of a button or with a signature, and things are happening much more quickly. And I think obviously that's been really important in this completely remote environment, but it's saving time and effort even as we go back into the office. And so I'm really excited about that.
Thank you for that, Simon. And I just deeply appreciate the focus that Adobe and Microsoft, the partnership, has on delivering great employee outcomes and really the focus on customer there. So I'd love to just hear a bit more about, as we look into the future, where the Microsoft-Adobe partnership will take us.
Yeah, I think fundamentally we're an experience company, and we continue to be really excited about how do you improve employee experience and the customer experience. And in particular, when you help employees, help them be productive and happy, it makes for happier customers. And I think, one example we worked together was with the company Lookers in the UK that sells secondhand cars, and helping them move to a fully digital platform and actually reducing the friction it takes to buy a secondhand car, which was really helpful for them and really helpful for their customers. And I think took just tons of paper and process and time out of both the employee and the customer's day. And I think reduced a 17 signature manual process and made it one simple Adobe Sign signature. And so, yeah, that I think is a really good example of the work we can continue to do to drive value both for employees and for customers. I think the other area I'm really excited, in addition to what we're doing with things like Power Automate, is the work with Viva. I think we know that making this hybrid world work is going to be challenging. And I think it's things like the Viva platform that are going to make that easier for all of us to have happier work days.
Simon, thank you for that. And just again, really appreciate the partnership between Adobe and Microsoft. Thank you for the time today and looking forward to our work together.
Yeah, thanks so much, Casey. It's great to be here.